Stan Gibilisco here. You are looking at Table 8-1 in my book, Ham and Shortwave Radio for the Electronics Hobbyist. Now, I've presented this table in another video and described uh, what it means and how signal report accuracy is in question. A lot of people inflate their signal reports, particularly in contests, in order to avoid having to make the fine distinctions among these various definitions: barely perceptible, fairly weak, moderately strong, how readable. As for the tone, unless it's a 9 pure sine wave ripple, or you have a very old radio and live in a uh, less developed country and can only get a hold of some antique radio, you should have a pure sine wave tone. So if you are using CW, otherwise you just use the first two of these, readability and strength. Normally in a contest, you simply say in voice 5-9, 100% readable, extremely strong. In CW, 599 or 5NN, 100% readable, extremely strong, pure sine wave. In other words, a perfect signal that's extremely loud, just in order to save time. 5NN, November, is often used to shorten the 599. So you might say 5NN South Dakota in field day contest, for example, just to shorten the exchange and make it possible to have more exchanges in a given length of time. But oftentimes, even in ordinary QSOs, people exaggerate their signal reports to flatter the other. Well, I don't know why they do it, but it used to be more of a problem than it is now. It's to some extent gotten a little better, especially if you contact a DX station and you know you're pretty weak. He's liable to give you a report of something like 5, almost perfectly readable, 6, decent but not spectacular, and of course on CW, always a 9, unless you have some problem with your radio. If there's a chirp on your signal, which shouldn't happen, they might add a letter C, uh, Charlie, C as in Charlie. If there's a key click problem, they might add K as in kilo at the end of the signal report on CW. Of course, being a CW operator, I'm inclined to only talk about CW. But I wonder, do you do that? Do you inflate your signal reports, or do you give truthful reports? I mean, if somebody's really 349, readable with difficulty, fairly weak, pure sine wave tone, if he or she has a signal that's really like that, is that the signal report you give them? Are you honest? Um, as I said, there was an article in QST many years ago about this problem, and it seems to have become somewhat less prevalent nowadays than it used to be, but it's still, to some extent, a problem. And of course, these descriptions, they vary a little bit from the ARRL, American Radio Relay, official definitions in their handbook, but I just did that to be a little bit original. Very well, either you're original or you're not. It's a little more unique. These descriptions represent qualitative notions. Good, honest reports use subjective standards, and you do not use the receiver S meter. Unfortunately, most signal reports are grossly inflated, maybe not as many as used to be. And of course, the comment about power supply improvement and lack of ripple. I mean, to really to have 9 different differentiations among for the extent of ripple. These used to have different meanings in the olden days, this tone report, but it's changed now just to talk about ripple and not other unwanted characteristics signals might have. So do you do that? Comments are open. Do you inflate your reports or do you give honest reports? Tell me the truth now. Tell us all the truth. Stan Gibilisco is signing off. Until next time, so long.